Good morning. I almost said good afternoon. It's been a long morning. We've been talking about rain moving into the valley and also recapping still the tornadoes that hit North Dakota this weekend and where that puts us for the total number of tornadoes so far this season. So let's get right into that right away so we can move into what we can expect coming up here. So as of yesterday, we got confirmation from the National Weather Service in Bismarck that they are confident that at least 15 tornadoes, individual tornadoes, touched down on Sunday, on the 14th. And so adding that to the original amount, which was 58, and that puts us at least 73 tornadoes for the year of 2025 across the state of North Dakota. Now, the ones on Sunday did not affect our viewing area. They're more in central North Dakota, but part of this 73 is, of course, the June 20th tornadoes and other events that happened over the course of the year. It's been very active, and we have the record to prove it. We now have not just surpassed the record, but by a lot. Let's take a look at that comparison again. At least 73 tornadoes, still analyzing those September 14th reports, so there may be more added here. And the next highest was the old record set back in 1999, and that is 12 less. 61 tornadoes was the record. So we blew that one out of the water. So again, incredible amount of tornadoes that hit North Dakota over the course of the summer. Of course, we saw some in Minnesota as well, but this is where our records lie. So I'm hoping we don't see any more. That's not a record we want here in the valley, but it is something that is worth noting, and comparing what we are experiencing this summer to past years helps us and climatologists to see where we stand. So again, looking at quieting conditions from a tornadic standpoint, but we are watching our chances for rain starting to ramp up. We're getting some moisture into the valley, and there's been some fog out there. This is our view in Cavalier, the latest image from the North Dakota DOT area. This is actually west of town along Highway 5, and this looks a lot better than even just 10 minutes ago. We've seen some improvement, though there is still some fog here. That's been something that's been hanging around that area all morning long, or off and on, I should say, throughout the morning. And here in Fargo, we're looking off to the east. We're looking at some gray skies. Clouds moved in advance of this next system that's going to be impacting us here as we head into the day today and for the next several days. So a quick check-in on our visibility. Looking really good in the south. We've got most places reporting 10 miles, which is the maximum, but still on that low end in the north central part of the valley. Cavalier at the airport, quarter-mile visibility, and in Grafton we're at a half-mile visibility there, and then surrounding areas reduced visibility too. So still struggling with this a little bit in that area. And I also want to touch on some wildfire smoke. It is affecting our air quality just a little bit. We've got some areas in yellow here where we're under moderate air quality in the valley, and you can see stretching westward through North Dakota and beyond, a lot of places in moderate air quality, but nothing that's in that unhealthy range, at least for now. And taking a quick look at our surface smoke, we do have it out there. Concentrations are low. We're more into this blue color here, but we want to see no color on the map. And so the fact that we have any at all, indication that we are still dealing with some smoke at the surface here today. But moving on into tonight and into tomorrow, that starts to go away and we clear out the smoke. But then we're looking out for the rain. That's going to be our next big impact here, next big weather maker, as we've been talking about. So here's a look at the latest satellite and radar. Most places in the valley are dry, but we are kind of surrounded to the west and south by some rain and some thunder showers. So there are places, I have our black and white satellite image here, or channel showing up here, and what that means is that we are seeing anywhere in light gray tones or white tones. Those are clouds or fog, and then the dark colors, that's where we are able to see the earth, so we're not seeing clouds in those areas. And this channel just helps us to depict between clouds and ground a little bit better here because of the stark difference between black and white. So Northern Valley, again, some fog up in that area, and then Southern Valley, we've got those clouds lifting in ahead of this low. And then there are some places where we're tracking some showers and some thunder showers. One up to the north and west, a cluster that continues to fall south and east of Bismarck, and then south of the valley where we'll be really focusing our attention here over the course of the next 12 plus hours for rain starting to lift in. So I do want to zoom in on this area in the south because this is an area that was, let's see here, I wonder if it was canceled. Well, that's a good thing, but there was a flood alert for this area for some heavier rain that came down. But it looks like since I set up this slideshow that has been removed. So that's great to see. But I did bring it up because it is south of our viewing area. Here's Sisseton here, and there's some thunderstorms south of Wilmer in Minnesota. I did bring it up because we are looking out for the potential for some heavy rain, some places that might see, steady ongoing rain for a while, or you might get hit by several rounds, and that'll add up. So we'll need to watch out for the potential for some flooding with these storms. And then let's just move to the west, where you can see that we do have, again, over towards Bismarck, and then back over toward the Linton area, some lightning and thunderstorms going on in that area too. It's been staying west of, again, our specific viewing area, but we know we've got a lot of friends and family in this area, or maybe you're traveling out in that direction, they're getting that rain. And then there is one little area of thunder shower activity that's been going on over into the Bottineau area west of Rolette County. Rolla, looks like we're getting a little shower going on there, so I've been watching this area a little bit too, but for the most part, this has mainly been missing us. So actually I'm going to go back a couple of slides here to our radar and satellite image from a more wide view. I'm going to widen this out even a little bit more to show you, again, there's a lot of rain down into South Dakota. And this data is kind of filling in as we speak here. And there are some areas where we're watching out for, oh, there's that flood warning. It looks like it was, you can see over the course of time, it was removed here, but that was along I-29 in South Dakota. But anyway, we are looking at a lot of rain in South Dakota. That's where the upper level low that's going to be hanging around for several days will be. And if you remember from previous talks, we have our rain, our wind, everything rotates counterclockwise around low pressure. So if we have this low sitting right here, then we are looking at the rain kind of coming in from the south or from the southeast, depending on the position of the center of the low. And so we're going to be watching for rain and thunder showers coming in from this direction over the course of a few days. And in addition to that, either south or east or somewhere in between again. And so when you're checking the radar on the VNL weather app, if you're looking at a storm south of you, there's the potential that it might be moving in. You can push play on that on the radar to see which direction it's coming from. And of course, we do have our model on there too that you could switch to look into the future as well. So again, watching for some impacts from this rain moving in, and you can see there's a lot of it scattered, not super heavy showers, but scattered rain south of us, and we're watching for that to move northward. So let's look ahead into our current conditions here. We're going to be seeing temperatures. I think I skipped ahead here, just one graphic too many. Temperatures are into the 60s and 70s, and even the Fergus Falls area on the warm side at 70 degrees, at 63 in Fargo, 66 in Grand Forks. And we'll just move ahead because I think my computer's moving real slow here. So, we're talking about autumn weather returning here. Today, might be some hints of it with the clouds moving in, feeling a little gloomy here. But in general, as we continue on through the day, we're looking at temperatures that are going to be fairly warm still, around average or even slightly above average for this time of year. High 77 by 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon in Fargo, and then in the 7 o'clock hour still in the low 70s. But you can see clouds are going to be moving in associated with the system, and it's already been happening here this morning. And eventually some rain too. And across the valley you can see we've got Northern Valley along the border, temperatures in the upper 60s to around 70. Heart of the valley, we're looking at low to upper 70s. And then south, where you see these rain and thunder shower clouds, that's where we may be seeing that rain sooner than that. And that's going to keep us cool, or we'll start warm, and then the rain falls and starts to cool us down. So a little bit of temperature difference here from north to south, depending on where you are in the valley, as of this snapshot around 4 o'clock this afternoon. So that's a look at the daytime. Let's take a look at our hour-by-hour planner and for today and beyond. So again, clouds streaming in from the south associated with this low. This is lunch hour. Let's move on into the 4 o'clock hour. Not a lot going on again in the valley. We're looking south in the Dakota border area into west central Minnesota. We're looking out for some rain and some thunderstorm activity. And then continuing on into tonight, we may be quiet for much of the evening, but you can see what's happening here behind me as the night goes on and as we move into tomorrow morning, that push of moisture starts coming in. And so by 8 a.m., as kids are starting school, as we are heading out to head to our morning destinations, we may need to turn on the windshield wipers. We may need our raincoats going on here on Thursday. And if you don't in the morning, you may want to have it with you anyway, because that chance for rain will continue throughout the day. And so this is 8 a.m. and we're going to look at the extended planner here. So I've switched to a different graphic. We removed the clouds so we can just focus in on the rain. So we're starting off 8 in the morning on Thursday. You can see that rain lifting northward at that point. And what's going to happen here is we're going to see several rounds of it. So we'll get breaks and then maybe another swing of moisture moving in, or thunderstorm activity. You can see some heavier pockets of rain going on here into Thursday evening. And right now it looks like southeastern North Dakota, eastern parts of the state, that's where we'll likely see some of the heavier rain, where we'll likely see more rounds of rain. Where that will be less likely is up toward Lake of the Woods. Doesn't mean you're going to miss out. You just might not see it as soon as other places, and you might not get as many rounds of it as other places will, simply because you're farther away from that low. But we are looking at, again, this is Friday morning, some spotty areas of rain and thunder showers. I want to stress that right now it does not look like severe thunderstorms, but still lightning, dangerous here. And looking ahead to the afternoon, 4 o'clock, here's another push of moisture. So heading into Friday night football, we need to be ready for another soaker here coming up for Friday night, with the potential for that to hang around all the way through the night. This is 9 p.m. and moving on into Saturday morning. Now, I've had to switch to our long-range model because Saturday's a little far out for our more high-resolution, shorter-range models. And so you can see it looks a little more blobby here, but I'm hoping that we'll see more scattered showers and not just uniform rain constantly. But it's still something to be prepared for Saturday, if you're going to be heading out to tailgate for the Bison game or any other games out there. And then Saturday night, we're still dealing with some showers going on. So this is something that is going to be impactful through the weekend. Sunday's the day. If we're going to have a dry day, it's going to be Sunday. And you can see there's still that possibility for rain. So once we get through Thursday and Friday, pretty much we're looking at chances starting to taper off. But we are not going to be completely rid of it. And you may be one of those lucky spots that sees rain every single day, even on Sunday. And then you also may be one of those spots that gets it Thursday, Friday, and then you're done. So it's something to watch closely as we head into the weekend, especially if you've got some weekend plans to travel or to be outside. So let's talk about rainfall through Sunday. We're going to move through time here all the way through today, Thursday, Friday, all the way into Sunday night. And you can see it's a very colorful map here. A reminder that this is going to be cumulative, so it's over the course of several days. We're not getting hit with it all at once. But there is a significant amount of rain that's possible here through, especially Thursday and Friday, and then continuing into the weekend as well. And you can see that we're looking at areas in yellow here. That's 1 to 2 inches of rainfall possible. And where we start to get into that 2 to 3 inch and even 3 to 4 inch range is the orange and red. And so I don't want you to necessarily look at this and see, okay, I'm in Grand Forks, this is going to be 2 inches of rain. That's the forecast. This is more of a guide, we'll say, that there's going to be the best chance in eastern North Dakota and in the Southern Valley for the 1 to 3 inch rainfall. And there's a possibility we could get some places that get a little bit more than that, in that 4+ range. So that's something that some models are indicating. So I want to point that out too. But you know, we're still not at the point where we can say a heavy thunderstorm is going to hit you in Jamestown, let's say, right at this time, 4 days out. But what we can say is the moisture is there, the potential is there, and this is the area where we have the greatest chance for seeing some of those heavy rain showers. So that has implications for harvest, for, again, just if you're already a little waterlogged. I know places like Rugby got some heavy rain recently. So this is something we'll be watching for you as we head into the next couple of days especially, but all the way through the weekend. We'll be tracking that rain for you as it eventually starts up today and continues on here in the forecast. So temperatures associated with this. We're going to be on the downward trend. Yesterday we got into the 80s. Felt like summertime still. Well, by Friday, here's a look at some of our highs. Most of us into the 60s. Some of us may stay in the upper 50s on Friday. Add the gloom, add the showers to it, and it's certainly going to feel like one of those days to stay indoors, or at least get yourself a hot chocolate if you're going to be out at Friday Night Football to keep yourself warm. And definitely want to try to keep yourself dry here. And so Friday's going to be tough. Looking ahead to the weekend forecast, Saturday you can see showers still a possibility. And then once we head into Sunday, I can't rule out a shower or two, but we'll start to be coming down from that and kind of turning things around. Fingers crossed. Looking at the temperatures more into the low to mid 70s for Sunday as well. So that's when we start to turn things around, and we may be able to salvage some of the weekend to be out and about. And I know the leaves are turning color. It's a much prettier sight seeing those leaves on a bright blue day. I don't know if we'll get that completely, but I'm hoping to get some sunshine breaking through for Sunday as well. So here's a look at our extended planner. We've got temperatures again today. Warmest through the weekend will be today, and then we'll see those numbers starting to slide as we go through the week, with the best chances for rain again Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday some lingering showers. Sunday, isolated shot for a shower lingering, but it will be tapering off. And then for Monday, that's the fall equinox. And as we head into officially fall from an astronomical standpoint, we are looking at conditions that are going to start to feel a little bit more like summer's trying to return. Some mid-70s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, back into some upper 70s. So we'll see how high we go, but maybe we're not quite done with 80 yet. We'll see. Next week, it does look somewhat quieter, but some models do hint at some more chances for rain coming up next week around Tuesday, Monday and into Tuesday. So that would obviously have an impact on temperatures if we have more clouds than sunshine. That prevents us from warming up as much. But it does look a little bit quieter as we head into next week in relative comparison to the stretch of days. We'll be watching out for some rain and even some thunderstorms. Again, not necessarily looking out for severe storms, but some heavy downpours, some gusty winds, some lightning, of course, associated with any thunderstorm is always dangerous. And in addition to that, with the heavy rain, the possibility for some trouble spots with a little bit of flooding going on. So some of those areas that that tend to have trouble when you get a heavy rainfall might end up filled up with water, low places on the roads. And of course, it's going to be a little bit soggy in the fields as well for harvest coming up for those areas. So we'll continue to, of course, bring you the forecasted updates on it. Of course, it's still, going to be something that's progressing through several days. So we'll be making adjustments and keeping up to date on how much rain we've seen over that course of time. So until then, enjoy it. It's a little bit of a bonus time right now of drier weather going on, with the rain holding off until later this afternoon, or even as late as overnight tonight that we'll see the rain. So a lot of today still looking pretty dry for a lot of places. Just keep in mind we're going to start to see rain moving in, and it could be as early as this afternoon for some places in the far south for this afternoon. And then the rest of us get in on it too over the course of the next 24 hours. So have a good midweek day, and we'll have another update from the Valley News Live First Alert Storm Team coming up this afternoon.